It is out, isn't it?
Yeah, what the trailer is.
Oh, I thought the movie came out
No,
recently.
it comes out in December. No. No, it comes out while we're in Florida, so that's fine. I gotta wait to watch it till I come back home. But yeah, I'm very excited. Sinister Six, multidimensional.
What, they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different dimensions. Peter Parker's from different movies. Very exciting stuff. Willem Dafoe. I'm excited.
I'm excited for Willem Dafoe.
That's
It'd be nice
exciting.
to reprise that role.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be a
You
big
doing
one.
okay? Your voice sounds a little scratchy.
Yeah, I was talking a lot last night. And then I also had sore throat before that. So this past, 4 days has just been basically consistent sore throat.
Lovely.
Yeah. Great day. Great week.
You gotta love it. All right, well, let's go ahead and make that worse, why don't we?
Yes.
And drop some sense on them. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 70. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Howdy.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this show comes to you every week, Monday, 8 a.m. But Tavin, I hear you ask, what is this show? This show is where me and Connor sit down together at this little rinky-dinky table I bought, and we give you the new news in the video game industry that you need to know. We come to you each with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. You can find this show over at youtube.com/2pennygamescast, where you can find full reviews for video games and breakdowns of our video game streams. It's all over there. Go check it out. It's a good time. Please go check out our After the Hype Jack 2 review that we just dropped last week. I'm very happy with it. It's it's doing okay. It's doing okay for our videos. And then keep an eye out. This show comes out Monday, 8 a.m. But keep an eye out tomorrow, Tuesday at 8 a.m. for a God of War 3 After the Hype review. Now, what is After the Hype? After the Hype is our review show for games we play on Hype over at twitch.tv/2pennygames every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hype, Have You Ever Played, is a show where me and my good buddy Phil, we sit down and we show each other games that the other one has never played before. This one, for example, he never played God of War 3, so we sat down, we played the whole thing on stream. Come join us for all that fun stuff. It's a lot of fun. However, this week, there won't be a usual Hype stream. I will be jumping on stream at some point during the day just to satiate a little bit. But Phil is out of town, so we couldn't do the show this week. We will be continuing next week, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central, for some God of War 2018.
Looking forward to that one.
Very good, very exciting. Connor, you joining us that?
I will, yes.
Fantastic. But let's go ahead and move on and get to the show. Now,
Right to the news.
Connor, I have a personal policy here with this show when putting the stories together. All right, we've mentioned it before. If something is serious, some misconduct, some abuse, something that affects people's lives, front and center, we talk about that, and then we can talk about the fun little toys and stuff. The fun part of the industry after that. But this week, unfortunately, some more news has developed with the Activision Blizzard situation. I'm pulling there's a lot of stuff happened this week.
Tons. It dominated the news cycle as far as video games were concerned.
Absolutely. There was a new headline, something crazy happening every day. So, I found a Polygon article by Owen S. Good, which, for the most part, summarizes everything pretty well. So, we're going to dive right into that. So stick with me here as I read through this. So, Polygon, Activision leadership now under fire from Xbox and PlayStation bosses. Activision's leadership is facing criticism from its 2 biggest console partners, PlayStation and Xbox, over the company's handling of a sexual harassment and discrimination scandal that has festered over the past 5 months. Bloomberg earlier reported that Jim Ryan, Sony's chief executive for PlayStation, sent a note to employees referencing the story's latest developments on Tuesday, and said Activision Blizzard, quote, has not done enough to address a deep-seated culture of discrimination and harassment. Then, on Thursday, Xbox Phil Spencer also messaged his employees about the Wall Street Journal's report on November 16th, saying he and others on the management team are, quote, disturbed and deeply troubled by the horrific events and actions at Activision Blizzard. On Tuesday, the Journal reported that Activision chief Bobby Kotick, despite what he told his company's board of directors, in fact knew of allegations of employee sexual misconduct, including a rape allegation, and minimized the problem to Activision's corporate governance. The report also said that following the Journal's inquiry regarding a 2017 sexual harassment claim against Dan Bunting, the co-head of Call of Duty developer Treyarch, Bunting quit the studio. The Journal said that Activision's original internal probe of the matter, which recommended that Bunting be fired, ended with Kotic intervening to save his job. Spencer said Bloomberg is, quote, evaluating... Spencer said Bloomberg is, quote... So this is Phil Spencer talking, just to be clear, because that's a little...
he's
weird.
quoting a Bloomberg article.
When speaking it, it's weird. When reading it, it reads fine. But anyways, Spencer says, quote, evaluating all aspects of our relationship with Activision Blizzard and making ongoing proactive adjustments, end quote. Ryan's email to PlayStation workers did not explicitly say the company was examining its business with Activision, which publishes huge franchises like Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo on consoles. The internal emails seen by Bloomberg come to light as more than 1,000 Activision Blizzard workers endorsed a petition demanding Kotic's resignation. A public petition signed by those who do not work for the company has swelled to more than 13,000 signatures, too. Okay. So, after all of that, messy.
Yes.
Messy. And it's also been reported that the board of directors is standing behind Kotic. He's not going anywhere.
Despite him lying to them not too long ago about the allegations.
Yeah.
I mean, as you saw with Bobby Kotick, he defended somebody who was at Activision, who worked for Activision, and now the board is doing the same exact thing. They've always, said they're going to do things in regards to these accusations. They take them seriously, but when it comes to actually taking it seriously, obviously, those exceptions start coming in.
It's this old boys club that we always talk about. It's these older white men who found themselves in positions of power and, clenched up and, they're all friends with each other and they do what it takes to protect each other because they are each other's equity, But big moves from Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox hinting at full-on just eliminating their relationship with Activision Blizzard, which is huge.
Yes.
And
not something you would expect from another company like Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't do that usually.
PlayStation, clearly not as aggressive, but I've seen, reports of you can already see their action, they're taking actions against Activision Blizzard. Call of Duty Vanguard, which just released, is no longer on the front page of the PlayStation Store. You actually have to dig and find it to get to it. So that's huge.
There's a lot more ways to continue your relationship with them, as PlayStation is doing, obviously.
Yep.
But really kick them in the balls. Because, this is pretty much a really critical moment. Because even though the board is currently standing beside Kotic, the response from people like PlayStation, like Xbox, is going to determine whether they're going to keep that up. Because
that's a huge percentage of your money, man.
Yes, and that's what they care about at the end of the day. That's why they want Kotic employed, because he has done good for the company. Well, now, if he's losing the money, it might not be worth keeping around and protecting.
Now, Activision Blizzard's majority of their sale base is on PC, especially with games like Diablo and Overwatch and all those. Call of Duty, you get a little more... loose with it, especially with games like Call of Duty Warzone being free to play. It's your casual. Everybody has it. Everybody's got it installed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that one's a little harder to fight. But in Call of Duty being the juggernaut that it is, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole ship goes down from all of this. But Call of Duty makes it out and either becomes owned by an independent studio, maybe newly formed after all this Activision Blizzard stuff. Maybe Treyarch splits off and does their own thing or something. Who knows? But all of this is just really, really messy. It's not enough to kill giants like Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is a brand. But it is. I think this is enough to kill Activision Blizzard as a whole, or at least severely damage them to the point to where they're not relevant on the market anymore.
It all hinges on if they're going to keep up this aggressive action against Activision Blizzard, because
Xbox and PlayStation,
yeah, because they could give up in the future. They could say, who really cares? Maybe it's not worth it because we are losing out on money or deals. Who knows? And then they just abandon their aggressive campaign. Xbox's aggressive campaign and PlayStation's less aggressive one, but as you said, still impactful one.
The thing is like, I don't know so much about Diablo anymore, but games like Call of Duty and Overwatch, they might, maybe less so even now, Overwatch now, but as Overwatch 2 is ramping up with hype and so forth, like, Call of Duty might be too big and bring in too much money for you to remove it from your platform. But we can do things like eliminate promotion. marketing for these things. We're not going to market you. Your branded game is not going to be next to the Xbox or PlayStation insignia anymore until you fix this. Or we're not going to promote you on any of our stores like we've already seen PlayStation do. You know, we're gonna bury you. People have to search you to find you. You know, those types of things, they seem small, but they really do matter. Mm-hmm. What's on the front page matters. You can talk to any indie developer out there. Man, they're on the page for a day, and their sales boost 3, 4, 5 times easy. Like for just a little spot, because it's just a bunch of people who go, all right, what's new? And they click X, and the first thing that pops up is what they're first going to click on. You know.
I wouldn't be surprised if at this point that's where a lot of the Call of Duty players come on console. Like, they just think, oh, new Call of Duty's out. It's a dumb, brainless game. I'll buy it. Exactly. And they get it.
Exactly. Yeah. No. 100%. It's your average gamer who buys, you know, the Call of Duty, the Madden, and like maybe one other game a year that they're excited for, whether it's God of War or Horizon or Halo. Like, it's just like, oh, this is out. This is cool. Bam. And then they add, you know, the yearly Call of Duty or Far Cry or whatever the fuck like that comes out all the time, and that's just what their cycle of video games is, or you know, has been. Stuff like that hurts, because then, you know, if your average gamer can't find Call of Duty, but Battlefield's there, they're gonna go play Battlefield. You know, if your average gamer can't find Call of Duty but can find Far Cry, well, my friend has Far Cry 2. Well, I'll jump in and play co-op with him instead. You know, it's things like that really, really do hurt. And this is how we see change, is by pushing the other big wigs to make the not so good big wigs move in the right direction.
Exactly. And also, this isn't a point to undersell that the workers themselves are also mobilizing against it. You know, they're not just...
Oh, they're doing a great job. They did a walkout earlier this week. You know, these petitions are flying. They're growing all the time. These numbers that I read to you from the 13,000 and the over 1,000 from Activision Blizzard, already outdated from the time that this article was posted. Yeah. Like, so it's I mean, it sucks to like see, but this is like the first time in this entire case where I was like, oh, something's happening.
Yes.
Like something substantial is happening. Not to mention the government is still involved, and they're doing their government, you know, dragging their feet thing.
Yeah.
So
before this, I thought that was the main angle of attack, and pretty much the only angle of attack that was actually going to be successful against Blizzard, because the government doesn't really care about some of the big wigs at some of these companies, so they could, you know, obviously throw the law at some of these people. Yeah. But it is just as important, maybe even more important, to have the actual industry start turning on Blizzard and Activision.
Oh, absolutely. I was sitting here. I wasn't sure about PlayStation because they always present themselves as a little more corporate, a little more
reserved,
money focused, kind of stuff, a little more. You know, we are a company, even though they do, you know, push. You know, we build games for gamers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But Xbox, you know, has always been consumer friendly for the last generation and a half now. So it did not surprise me at all to see Xbox step forward and say, hey, no, we're doing something about this. Phil Spencer also seems like a really, really solid dude. Guys like Jim Ryan and Hurst, like, we just don't see them as much.
No.
Phil Spencer is out there talking. He's in interviews. He goes and sees random YouTube channels. He goes, sees, you know, and he talks to people. So, you know, we see him like that, and this is in character for him.
It is.
From the persona that he's presented to us.
I mean, just recently he came out against NFTs, saying they're scams, effectively. Which, you know, as you were saying before, he constantly establishes a good connection with the gaming community, and now he's actually doing, you know, more than just being friendly on those YouTube channels. He's actually taking action.
So, Connor, does Kotic keep his job, yes or no?
I don't think so. And now, like I said before, it hinges on what Xbox and PlayStation continues to do. If they keep up with it, yeah, he's out. Because they're not going to abide by somebody draining them from money.
You can't take Call of Duty off your store, though.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. It's too big. It brings in too much money. You
right.
can't.
No.
But you can bury it.
You can.
You know?
Use some of the leverage that you got.
I'm with you. I think this is gonna. I think Xbox and PlayStation getting involved and saying, "Hey, man, like we are," because you know, phone calls going crazy. People are cussing each other out. Fuck you. Get your shit in place. No, bro, get your shit in place. What the fuck are you talking about? stop, destroying your employees' work relationship, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some heated ass conversations happening right now in those boardrooms. I think it's going to lead to Kotic having to resign. Now, it's worth noting he's a fucking billionaire, essentially. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. He's going to be fine. He's probably got his name on some contract somewhere where he still gets percentages from every game that Activision Blizzard ever makes. So, keep that in mind.
Not to mention I don't know what he'll do if he does end up getting fired from Activision. He'll move on somewhere else. So it's not like it's going to be a career-ending, life-changing event for him.
I don't know, man.
You think people?
I don't know, man. I think the name of Bobby Kotick is poison now, at least in the games industry. I mean, he can go out and work in technology.
Yeah, I could see him doing something like that. Some other weird position, not like CEO of some company, but maybe on some board.
Some executive, some board, placement somewhere else.
Yeah,
but yeah. I don't know, man. I think this name is too poisoned in this industry.
In this industry, I would agree with you there. Yeah, if he does end up getting ousted, he probably won't be coming back. On a little bit brighter news, at least they've been using ugly pictures of him whenever they do their stories. I've seen a lot of ugly Kotic pictures.
A lot. He's not to be so skin deep, but not the most attractive man, that Bobby Kotick.
Listen, when you do bad things like that, you kind of open yourself up to the insult. Sorry.
When you're a piece of shit, we're going to treat you like a piece of shit. Connor, let's move on to our second topic here. I'll take that first penny.
Yep.
And you know what? Fuck you. I'm taking the second penny, too.
You did send it.
I'm taking the second penny, too.
Right. That wasn't a jab at me, Tavin. Don't worry.
Connor, like we talked about last week, the Game Awards, they're here. The nominations are out. We're not going to go over everything right now because we are going to do a predictions episode. It'll be you, me, and Phil. Phil does want to be on that, and we're going to do our whole little competition, scoring points, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, trying to get all that fun stuff. Predictions, what's going to be there, what's going to get announced, what's going to win what, who's going to get snubbed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All that fun stuff, so keep an eye out on that in the coming weeks. We're going to do that real soon. But we do want to go over a couple of these categories that we found interesting. We're going to pull, some of the bigger categories here and run them down. Connor, let's start with Best Indie. All right?
Best Indie, okay.
Let's jump into that. So, for Best Indie, we've got 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Inscription, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, and Loop Hero.
Now, one weird question I had.
Yeah.
Is Kena, you played it.
Yes.
Kena, Bridge of Spirits, is it an indie game? It's not a AAA game.
Ember Labs, independent studio, small team, just, published and funded by PlayStation, so they got a little more change than your usual, indie dev team does, but arguably 12 Minutes got that same bag.
Mm-hmm.
But
it did it. I thought it was okay.
Oh yeah. You can go and look at old footage 12 Minutes from 8 years ago, and it's the same game, but it just doesn't look nearly as nice. It doesn't have, it doesn't have AAA Hollywood actors in it, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So this is, there's a bit of a connection there, but Kena did present itself, and I think it's because of the background of those devs being an animation studio previously. It really does show in the presentation of the game, of how nice they are. But when you play it, it feels like a indie action adventure game.
Oh, so it's really just the visuals that set it apart from other indie games.
Yeah, it's just the level of polish in its visuals and in its presentation that make you feel a little different. But that game, yeah, it's pretty rudimentary when it comes to mechanics.
Okay. Well, now, that being said, the other weird thing about this nomination, it kind of makes a lot more sense now, but 12 Minutes wasn't received all that well. I don't think warranted enough to be on the Best Indie Game. Sure, it got a lot of attention.
I want to say it was a little more mixed reception. It wasn't like it was poorly received. It was pretty, there were genuinely quite a few people who really enjoyed 12 Minutes.
Okay.
I thought 12 Minutes was okay. It was fine. And when you talk about Best Indie Game, it's hard to talk about big indie games this year and not talk about 12 Minutes. 12 Minutes had its moment in the spotlight.
Well, yeah, and popularity-wise, I wouldn't contest it, but, I guess that kind of gets into what is the nomination for. Is it for, popularity? Does that play a big role into it?
These are, it's worth noting that, the Game Awards, they have their select, what do they call them? The Game Awards has select groups in which hey man, you as IGN get to vote. You as Kind of Funny, I think Funhouse was represented one year. the GameSpots of the world, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's like, hey, what do you want to do? Everybody sends in their votes for nominations. The nominations go back out, and then those same groups then vote on each category, et cetera.
I see, okay.
And then they give the people 10% of the vote. So you can go through and you can vote in this as well. I'm gonna guess this is a split between Death's Door and Kena. I've only just heard about Inscription. Like, I got the elevator pitch like this last week. I heard it on a podcast.
Oh.
Sounds fascinating. I'm gonna go check it out.
Oh, it's the card game. I remember seeing that.
It's the card game, but I heard some really cool stuff. Really cool stuff about it. Loop Hero, another time loop game. I'm surprised the Forgotten City isn't on here. From how much I heard about the Forgotten City, I didn't hear much about Loop Hero personally, but time loop was the big theme of the year. I think this is between Death's Door and Kena, and I think Death's Door is going to take it.
Do you think it is? Do you think the indie crowd would have preferred Death's Door overall? Because I actually haven't seen general reviews on either of Kena or.
Death's Door is getting game of the year talk.
Okay.
It wasn't nominated for Game of the Year with the Game Awards, but it's like there are people who are like Death's Door is the best game that came out this year.
Word of mouth has dictated it as kind of one of the better games.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think Death's Door is going to take it, but I could see Kena taking it. Ember Labs' first game, and it's a hell of a first start. Definitely enough to be like, okay, I'm keeping my eyes on them, and I'm going to see what they're going to do next. So I could see it either way, but to me, this is a straight shot Death's Door or Kena Bridge of Spirits. Any idea from you? I know you didn't really mess around in the indie scene this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not. What I've noticed with a lot of these nominees is sometimes there's one game that I definitely played on some of these nominees, so I kind of just have to vote for them because the other ones I didn't. Indie's one of those things I didn't play any of those. So it's hard for me
there's like a level of voting, and then you can like objectively be like, okay, yeah, this game was probably from the talk and from what I saw. Anyways, Connor, let's switch over to best performance. We've got, and I'm gonna mess up some names here. I can already tell. Erica Mori as Alex Chen from Life is Strange: True Colors. Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo from Far Cry 6. Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn, Deathloop. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. And Ozoima Akaga as Juliana Blake from Deathloop. These are all actually pretty damn good performances. You are working your way through Resident Evil Village right now.
Yes, and Dimitrescu has a great voice actor.
Great voice acting. I think easily the best in that game. Like
most memorable thing in that game, I would say.
Super standout character there. I didn't play Life is Strange: True Colors, but I did hear phenomenal things about it. Like people were in love with this life. They're easily like best Life is Strange. Yada yada yada.
Alex Chen was the main character, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yes. And some of the scenes that I did see that like went viral on Twitter and stuff, it looked like fun. It looked good stuff. So it sounds like she did a really good thing. Giancarlo Esposito, phenomenal actor, of course, but he's got kind of that like Hollywood why are you coming in here? Why are you doing this? Like it feels like because he was a selling point for Far Cry by Ubisoft, so like it's just kind of all that brand name stuff.
That interesting enough for him. I actually. Because I'm not going to play Far Cry 6. I decided I'm not. No. So I watched his scenes. He actually has a lot of scenes. This is the game that has the Far Cry villain with the most amount of screen time. Because they they wanted him to be a character in the game rather than just a force that the main character's trying to reach. So many, many scenes, and he did very well in them. So
I'm sure. He's phenomenal. He's really fucking good.
So I could see him.
Don't discount him just because he's Hollywood. No. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. But my vote in would be either the actors from Deathloop, Juliana or Colt.
Oh, really?
I thought they were both fantastic to just be, obviously you play as Colt, but for Juliana to mostly just be a voice in your ear the entire game, she was phenomenal, and just their chemistry back and forth was great at all times. The amount of repeat dialogue that does happen and how they keep it fresh and interesting every single time it happens, you're like, yeah, okay, this shit, it's good. It's some legit shit. My mother is screaming in the other room because she can't understand that we're recording a show here. So thanks, Mom, for that.
Go football, man.
It's football. Yeah. Fucking whatever. Anyways, so yeah, my personal vote, either Deathloop actors, I would prefer.
My secondary vote, I haven't voted yet, but I have heard enough of Colt Vaughn's voice actor to really, really like him. Yeah, if I had actually played the game, it'd probably be a shoo-in for him.
Yeah.
But since I haven't played it, I've heard enough from him to know that he's very good. I'm kind of up in the air about who I think would be deserving.
Yeah.
But all good ones.
All good
heard.
choices so far. Let's move on. Where did we go from there? Best narrative. So for best narrative, we have Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange: True Colors, Psychonauts 2, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Interesting. Interesting choices here. None of these bad from what I can tell. It Takes Two is a little strange for me. Just because I didn't think it was like superbly written, but it did have very, very nice moments and very nice points, and it did get me emotional quite a few times. So there's that. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, I haven't played yet, but I am working my way towards that. Psychonauts 2, haven't played, would like to play, but who knows? At this point, I don't know if I'm going to get to it by the end of the year. Life is Strange, I already said I haven't played, and I don't really intend to. I've only of this list, I've only played It Takes Two and Deathloop, and Deathloop takes the cake easy for me.
It does. It's not really a competition.
Deathloop's got a solid story, and the way that you peel back those the layers of that onion, man, oh, it's good. And the way your perspective changes, which is the little pieces of information that you garner every single loop. Deathloop is a phenomenal game. Best game direction. Once again, Deathloop and It Takes Two, followed by Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
You've obviously played most of these games.
Yeah, I've played all but Psychonauts on this list. And to me, when you talk best game direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So, innovation is a weird term to throw in here. Ratchet & Clank, for one, is very tried and true Ratchet, but it's super solid.
Well, they do also have those very seamless transitions from different environments, correct? That was a pretty big part of the game.
Right, I did forget about that with the power of the SSD and the PS5 and the instant switching in time zones and in time periods, et cetera, et cetera.
I remember that was their biggest selling
Levels,
point from when I saw the gameplay.
Yeah, I did forget about that. That is an extra point in that category. Psychonauts 2, I mean, when you talk direction and design, like Tim Schafer has a name in this industry, obviously, very long-lasting name, obviously with the first Psychonauts and, what's that, adventure game that I cannot, Grim Fandango.
I always remember him from Brutal Legend. I love that.
Yeah, but nobody played that game.
No one did, but I did. I loved it.
So, like, I'm sure Psychonauts 2 is very, very well designed, but I did hear, some points, like, I hear, like, the cutscenes, there's something about the cutscenes, like the pacing of them or something, or we're in the cutscenes for too long, it takes too long to get back to the sticks. I don't know, something about that. To me, this comes down between, and It Takes Two was solid as well, but I think that studio has yet to really, mature into the great game that is to come from them. We're seeing a progression with Brothers Tales of Two Sons, A Way Out, It Takes Two. Like, they're getting better, and I think It Takes Two is their best game yet. It's just I see a classic game in them, and it's just a matter of when they get to it. So to me, it's really down to Deathloop and Returnal. I'm going to lean Returnal because of its systems and its design and how all of those systems work with each other and integrate with each other. Like, it's just flawless game design.
That surprises me because from what I've seen, I played like a touch of Returnal over here at your place.
Yeah.
It seems like Deathloop had a lot more of the unique direction of what it was trying to do with the game, with the whole time loop system. But obviously, I haven't played either one, so I can't actually like comment on it too much.
My thing, as I've distanced myself from Deathloop, I've actually, like, it's gone down a little bit in my mind. I still think it's a fantastic game. It's easily in my top 3 for this year. But at first, I was really hot on it, Game of the Year type stuff. But I've never once had the itch to go back to Deathloop.
It's a one and done type game so far.
Once you're done, you're done. And for a game that is somehow, like, built on the premise of replayability, I don't feel the need to ever replay that game ever again. I do want to go back and finish off getting that platinum though, because it is worth it, and it is. Don't get me wrong, it's a phenomenal game, but like I'm constantly fighting the urge to go get Returnal, or to go load up Returnal and go a few rounds in Returnal constantly. And I wouldn't even hate the idea of starting from the beginning in Returnal. Deathloop, I don't feel that way. Like,
yeah,
maybe one day with some time, but like. Right now, in the moment, like, with it still, like, I've still freshly played it, and I haven't even fully beaten it yet, like, I'm still like, yeah, I could totally start from scratch and replay Returnal and have a phenomenal time. Because Returnal is just that well designed, where the gameplay loop is perfect. It's perfect. Like, there's just no beating that element of how its systems work together. And that's Housemarque doing its Housemarque thing.
Of course.
And then finally... Let's talk about the big one, the big dog, the one we're all here for.
Game of the year.
Game of the year. Now, there was a lot of talk leading up to the Game Awards. Maybe this hasn't been that great of a year. So I don't know what everyone else has been smoking. There hasn't been the big standout God of War title. You know, there hasn't been the Red Dead Redemption 2, the Skyrim, or, you know, like like the Grand Theft Auto 5, like the one where we're all like, oh no, that one, or Last of Us, you know, last year or Ghost of Tsushima. There has not been one like that. But there's been a lot of great, like, 8s and 9s. Like, there hasn't been a 10 out of 10, but a lot of great 8s and 9s, man. We're swimming in 8s this year, which is a great fucking place to be.
The average is great. That's all, and really, that's kind of one thing.
It's just super solid. This is a year everyone's going to look back on and be like, I don't think any of these games are, like, classic material games that have been released, but there's plenty of examples of, like, fuck, man, that game was fucking great. Like, and you just look at it and you read down the list and you go, no, that's a good year. That's a good year. Not a phenomenal year, but it's a really damn good year. But let's get into it. Game of the Year nominations: Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. To me, it is a fucking crime that Returnal is not on this list.
It's surprising to me that It Takes Two is on the list. I mean, good game, but one of the best games of the year. With what I heard about Returnal, it seems like Returnal would have had that position instead.
I don't understand it, and personally, like, I like It Takes Two. It Takes Two is a solid game. I had fun playing it with you, because we were doing the co-op thing together. But Connor, we haven't finished It Takes Two. And let me ask you right now, do you ever feel the need to ever go back to It Takes Two and finish that off?
No.
Not even a little bit, bro.
It got Best Narrative nominee as well, but it didn't really have a narrative.
But, like, that made a little more sense to me than... did they had Best Game Direction in there too, right? Yeah. Best Game Direction and Best Game of the Year. Connor, let me ask you, what are the mechanics of It Takes Two?
It's different per each level.
It's different every level. You didn't make a game, you made 8 micro games. You know? And which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But, like, it holds the game back, and this was my critique the further we got into the game. It holds the game back from evolving its mechanics in a way that is satisfying. When you give me a mechanic, I'm fucking with it for 30 minutes, and then you throw that mechanic away and give me a new one, like, it leads me to not, like, it's like, I don't know what I'm looking for when I play your game. You know, it leads it without a mechanical identity, which is fine. If that's what you're going for, and clearly that's what they were going for, and I think they pull it off really, really damn well. There's several levels in that game I would love to go. The bug one, where one guy's shooting the gel and the other one's shooting her. That was a great level. The early level, with the hammer and the nail, I love that level.
All those were coming and going, because then it would switch on to the next thing.
It would switch, and then, you know, that would lead its puzzle design to not be able to build on itself. So every puzzle has the same level of difficulty, and to which you might be saying, well, I'm not a big puzzle guy, so, like, if I can beat it in the early games, that means I know I can get to the end, which is cool. But you beat one puzzle and you go, oh man, that was cool. Oh, now I feel smart, you know? And then, but you beat that same level of difficulty puzzle. It's like doing simple addition again and again and again and again. At first you're like, oh, that's how numbers work. Okay, cool, I can do that. And you start feeling smart. But eventually it just kind of becomes, okay, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is what and it becomes tedious, you know? So I don't understand why It Takes Two is here, especially when Returnal had a moment, just like Psychonauts did, just like Deathloop did, just like all of these games on the Metroid Dread, who is just now coming off of its moment. Returnal had that moment. It had its time in the spotlight. And there was just something weird. I don't know about you, but there's something weird in the conversation of games this year where, like, we didn't stick with anything for too long. Like, the conversation didn't last too long for any game, really. It had its quick week, maybe week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and then it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't the conversation all year of, yo, but like we had last year with Ghost and with Last of Us, like, yo, but like that ending of Last of Us, or, oh man, did you see if you go around to this mountain and then bow at this thing at Ghost, this happens? You go, oh no, I didn't. Like, there wasn't any of that conversation throughout the year. It was just, hey, this game's cool. Hey, I like this game. Here's a cool viral moment that happened from this game. Okay, we're moving on.
Next one.
It was kind of weird. And Returnal had an equal moment to all of these games. I would argue Returnal over Resident Evil.
You would?
Yes. I don't know why it's not on this list. I think it's a fucking crime. But I'm not mad at the inclusion of any of these things. I'm really just saying it's a personal preference of I would have slotted this in over that,
right?
You know, et cetera, et cetera. So, Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village. This is a great list. When I look at this list for what it is, this is a great list of games. These are all fantastic games.
Once again, you only haven't played Psychonauts 2.
It's the only game on this list I have not played. Metroid Dread is another game that speaks to me, where its systems are super great and super solid. It being a legacy game like Metroid, and it, you know, seemingly having the impact that it's having right now. It seems like it's the biggest Metroid game in the entire franchise. Like, it's you know, we're not done with Metroid anytime soon. I think Metroid's back in a real way before Metroid Prime 4 even comes out.
Uh-huh.
Like, classic 2D Metroid is back. Deathloop, I've already, you know, talked to Death. Deathloop's got great systems. Got the loop and its time mechanics and the twist on that it does with using knowledge as power is all great and exciting, and it does have a solid narrative to keep you going all the way to the end. I did feel like its shooting mechanics were pretty rudimentary, though, and though the guns did feel good to shoot, but the AI being dumb as rocks, like, just led to, it never really felt like a challenge to play Deathloop. Like, you were just kind of looking around, like, you were just solving the puzzle. But I did like the PvP mode in that game quite a bit.
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2 I haven't played. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, classic Ratchet. Ratchet almost at his, like, damn near at his peak. Me as a long-term Ratchet fan, I have, you know, very specific grievances that are personal to me, but I can put those to the side and be like, this is easily one of the best Ratchet & Clank games, one of the best Insomniac games to ever come out. And then Resident Evil Village, not as I didn't like it as much as I liked some of the other Resident Evil games that have come out lately, but I did enjoy it a lot, and I think mechanically it's one of the better Resident Evil games that we've had in quite a while. With the exception of maybe 2 Remake, but you know, it's, if you liked Resident Evil 7, you're gonna like Village. You know?
Yeah, my enjoyment from 7 to this, it was a pretty big jump. I enjoyed 7.
Yeah.
Got it kind of got boring by the end of it, because the gameplay was hard to really get attached to. The story went crazy and wasn't very investing.
No, yeah.
This one, on the other hand, I've been pretty entertained all the way through.
And you're on like your final third of Resident Evil, and I'll tell you, all the way to the end, the mechanics never really get old. Like, all the way to the end, I was entertained with Village, which is something I can't really say for Biohazard, and it's not I can't. And Resident Evil 3 Remake didn't have the length or the depth to really, you know, sink my teeth into. But Village is worth playing and worth replaying again and again. You know, it's a fun game. It's got its scary moments. It's scary, like, it scares that Resident Evil fans are looking for. It's got that sort of like Metroidvania, Castlevania. No, Metroidvania. That's the genre. Metroidvania level design in the castle, and then in other elements, like, it's got the spectacle, it's got the flair, it's got the scares, it's got the design, it's got a little bit of everything for everyone. Which is important for Resident Evil, because it's, you know, it's got so many different types of fans now. Though, you know, certain segments speak to me personally more than others, but I'm sure somebody loves the factory sequence.
I'll find out soon.
You'll find out soon. I don't love that part. I love the first 2 levels. Those are great.
There's some people who didn't want to get scared at the dollhouse.
I
don't want to play this anymore.
You know, so, but, you know, I think Village is a solid addition to you know, Resident Evil as a whole. Great year.
Yeah.
If I were to look at this objectively, I think Deathloop takes it.
Yeah, that seems like an obvious choice for you.
I think Deathloop has had the most conversation out of all these games. The most surprise. I think people really liked. I think the reception of Deathloop outweighed all these other games. I think Deathloop's going to take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think I would personally vote for Deathloop as well on this list.
Obviously, I kind of feel like I have to go for Village. It's the only one I played It Takes Two, but Village is definitely better than It Takes Two, and I think more preferable as a Game of the Year choice.
So yeah, overall, great list, great nominations. Very excited about that. Returnal got robbed, but oh well.
We didn't look at all the other categories, so we can't really go over if they were nominated for any other one.
And we'll do all of that in our predictions episode coming here in a week or two. I forget. I'll have to look at the calendar. It's either next week or the week after that we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, moving on. Connor, penny number 3, topic number 3, your first penny of the day. Halo. Halo's announced a TV series.
Yeah.
Now, Xbox had its big 20th year anniversary 20th anniversary celebration thing that they did, where they showed a bunch of old footage from the entire story of Xbox all the way to the Xbox One. The Rock came out and did a little joke because he was alongside Bill Gates when they announced the Xbox, the original one, so he came out and said hi and stuff just to promote a movie, but you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Halo stuff happened at this 20th anniversary. Halo Infinite multiplayer dropped. We're doing a review for that here in just a few minutes. And they announced this Halo TV series. There's also an Xbox documentary coming out that I think is super interesting and is going to be really fascinating to learn about how hard it was to get the Xbox to market.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nothing really to go off here except it's Master Chief.
2022,
streaming Paramount Plus. Listen, that's enough for me to sign up for a free trial of Paramount Plus. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but are they going to... Obviously, we don't know if they're going to release it all at the same time or if they're going to do a weekly release, but...
Either way, I'm waiting for it. I'm going to binge it, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to immediately cancel my subscription because I don't got shit with Paramount. Fuck that.
No, but at least... No. It's kind of strange. Why are they going to Paramount? I guess they had some sort of deal, obviously, but... I don't know why them, of all other streaming services.
Exactly. Like, we couldn't hit up Netflix. We couldn't hit up...
the bigger ones.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, this is how these things get made,
Yeah.
Even Peacock would make more sense than Paramount.
It would,
but, cool. Whatever.
It's gonna be probably stuff from the Covenant Wars or whatever they're called in the lore, like fighting aliens with other Spartans, maybe.
Doing something, yeah. And it's clearly like, we're centering around the Master Chief, we're doing all that. The armor looks good.
It does.
We've had Halo live action things in the past, and there's usually like an element of like, this feels cheap.
Yes.
And I hope we don't have that here. I think from the jump, the brand, like the presentation and the branding of this teaser trailer, like tells me, hey, we're actually putting like quite a bit of money behind this. This isn't like some mini web series that we're doing to promote Halo 5.
Yeah.
We're being legit about this one, which is cool. I'm into that.
Hey, Last of Us getting a television show. The Witcher's gotten one.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we get it? We're Halo.
Yeah.
We're big. We should make one.
I could see next year might be that, Jeff Keighley was talking in that interview about how like, we might have best video game adaptation coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Next year might be the year to do that with Witcher and Last of Us, like you said, and Uncharted and Halo. Like,
there's enough to make a category there.
There's enough to make a category.
At least for 1 year.
I think the older mediums of like Hollywood and film and TV and stuff, I think they're looking at us and they're seeing a check. They're seeing money here, so they're actually going to start investing time in adapting these stories to it, or maybe even vice versa of like getting some licensed games out here with an actual budget or something. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really to go off with this trailer. It's Halo, new series. 2022, streaming Paramount Plus. So we'll find out more of that in the future. Connor,
another trailer. The one that was that got more attention than the Halo one.
It did, which I thought was strange. I don't quite know why this is garnering so much attention.
I can think of a couple reasons. Maybe because it has Shaggy fighting Superman, and the meme of who Shaggy is made online is now a reality in a video game.
So, if you don't know what we're talking about, WB has announced Multiverses, which we've covered on the show when it was getting leaked. It's WB owned characters, Smash Brothers type character arena battle fighting game.
A lot more of a focus on team play rather than individual play, which you can of course still do because you wouldn't really have much of a leg to stand on. If
But
you
there's like characters are specifically designed, like they have specific moves to help out a teammate. So it's they're really marketing it as a 2v2 game, which strange to me, very strange to me. But if we're gonna play with the formula, not a terrible way to play with it. No.
We had Nickelodeon's version of this kind of game come out recently.
Yeah,
it's kind of left the local conversation. No one really seems to really want to play that game anymore.
Yeah,
it was a gimmick. Seems like so.
Yeah, it came and it happened. So, but I'm excited for the revitalization of this genre. I'm excited that it's coming. We haven't really seen it in any meaningful way in a while, except for Smash Brothers. And even this, like, it still looks like a cheap Smash Brothers clone.
Yeah.
But, who knows, maybe some of these gimmicks and maybe those mechanics will play better than they feel. I personally wasn't impressed with this, and your pitch of, hey, Bugs Bunny and Superman and Tom and Jerry, like, it just doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
Like, these just aren't characters that I care about.
I thought it looked entertaining enough that I really want to give it a try. And if I'm not mistaken, it is going to be free. They're doing it. They're making it free.
I don't know if the game is free or if it's all the updates that they plan. Oh no, a new free to play platform fighter from Warner Brothers. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's all free. Okay, look at that.
It's a game that like obviously cosmetics are probably going to be where they get some of their money from.
I imagine getting all the different skins and stuff for your Supermans and your Shaggy and Scooby Doo and all that.
Maybe even new characters will be locked behind a paywall. At least they have a base roster who's free to play.
Yeah, maybe. Well, all of this we'll find out and to come. Yeah, but it just I don't know, man. It's just not doing it for me. Like, it just doesn't look right. And I don't know how to say it other than like it doesn't look fluid enough. Like, when I see these moves like chained together, it doesn't feel like there's a flow to it. It looks really stiff to me.
Mm-hmm. It looks a lot more free-flowing than the Nickelodeon one does. Obviously not as good as
it does
Smash Bros.
Yeah.
And so, it really, really depends on how it ends up playing. Because, at least they've made these characters fit with an art style in the same universe, so they don't look too weird.
Homegirl from Game of Thrones does not look right.
She's the exception. But then again, she was a real human being that's never really been, made into a cartoon or made into any kind of, art at all. Well, obviously the source material is books. We don't have the actual original visual to look back on.
Yeah.
That would chime with what they're going here with the art style. So I think with her they did the best they could. Everyone else though, I think they fit well with looking the same and having their own style that easily identifies them as what they're from. So I'll give it a shot. I'll play it whenever it comes out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll give it a shot, especially since it's free to play. Why not? Yeah, I'll kill an afternoon, play with some friends, so on and so forth. Do a little stream, maybe a little four person stream. Coming to everything. Did they say?
It didn't seem like it.
Look like they've said.
Oh no, there it is. PS4.
Oh, okay.
Xbox
Yeah. So we got the PlayStation, the Xbox.
Switch
PC.
is on there.
No, I don't see a Switch.
Huh.
I do not see Nintendo Switch.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that's your audience.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not on there.
Maybe because it's they're doing the team battle thing, so it's a lot more focused on multiplayer play. So they were like, well, let's go to the platforms that have multiplayer locked down. Yeah, who knows? There was some conversation around it, so maybe it is a roster that is big enough to bring people in. Mm-hmm. Where are the Teen Titans, though? Give me the Teen Titans.
Asking. Maybe they'll come in.
I want the Teen Titans. Anyways, Kotic.
But no, it is a good multiplayer game that I will be playing for a lot into the future.
Yeah. So, Connor, let's go ahead and jump into what we've been playing this week. And Connor, we've been playing Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Yes.
As we said earlier on the show, the multiplayer came out early.
Wednesday?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it was like Wednesday, something like that. Maybe a little earlier than that. I don't 100%. Maybe it was like Tuesday, Monday. It came out earlier this week. It doesn't matter. I've been playing a whole bunch of it on PC. Playing with the guys, having a bunch of fun. You jumped on the train a little late. Your PC is a piece of garbage, so you downloaded it on
Xbox,
a launch Xbox One.
Yes.
I'm more. I'll go ahead and get this bit out of the way. On PC, it's running fantastic. Surprisingly well. Like, for a multiplayer launch, like, I haven't really been dropped from any games. I haven't been fighting a bunch of lag. Like, the servers are mostly fine. And the game plays phenomenally. This is gearing up to be my favorite Halo video game to date. Like, it just needs the campaign to hit.
As somebody that's played on the Xbox One,
yeah, I'm very curious to see what your
agree with that wholeheartedly.
Really?
I have not felt so excited for a Halo game since I got my hands on this. Yeah, I played a lot of it yesterday. Yeah. So, as you said before, runs great. The only issue that I've had one of the issues I did have, I guess I had two, was in the win screens and when it's showing all the players, sometimes they'll disappear, sometimes they'll be facing the wrong direction.
Right.
But I've seen that on PC.
Yeah.
It's not game breaking. And the other thing that wasn't even game breaking was it once actually said, you can't, we're not connected to the servers. And I didn't know why, and that lasted for
that did happen to me one time, and then it was just to close the app and relaunch it, and it was fine.
I didn't even close the app. I literally just pressed play again. I backed out all the way to the main screen, went to multiplayer, and it was fixed. So it wasn't even game, like I said, not even game breaking.
Just a moment of
But the game runs great. Dude. It plays amazing.
Dude, this game is fucking dope, bro.
I know, right?
Yo, and as someone who was really excited about Splitgate earlier this year and really, really enjoyed Splitgate, this I cannot believe it's actually exceeded my expectations.
It did.
I know. Halo is my favorite first-person shooter franchise. Halo 3 is one of my favorite video games of all time. And for this to, this feels like how I remember Halo playing.
Yes, exactly.
You go back and you play those Halos and you're like, this just doesn't feel as good anymore.
It does not.
Because it's just time, man, and it's affected it in some serious ways. But now,
this has revitalized it.
It revitalized, and it doesn't feel like it's a modernization, but not in the way that felt out of character, like 4 and 5 kind of felt. Even though I did really like 4, and I thought 5 was actually a pretty solid game. It just didn't grab me. But this is Halo. Mm-hmm. This is Halo in its purest form, and it's just pure arena combat, first person shooter, multiplayer mayhem.
Yes,
and it's fucking fantastic.
One of the things that I loved, and I think you'll agree with me on this as well, is, first of all, the guns are great.
Guns feel so good.
So, the assault rifle, for the first time...
Awesome. It's effective.
It's effective. I've been a major fan of the assault rifle for a long time. Only because I liked how it felt, but its effectiveness was always, subpar. And it was very, even though I was reluctant to, I would replace it with guns I found around the map almost instantly. Yeah. Because it wasn't viable when I was playing online. But this is the first time I think to myself, well, it's actually kind of a good thing to keep it because I'm
going to rack up some kills with this thing, man. This is a good, fallback weapon. Sure, I'm going to pick up the battle rifle. I'm going to score some headshots. I'm going to get some critical damage. But when the shit hits the fan, man, I'm pulling this AR right back out. Now, it's all reliable, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's mid-range, close range, great.
It even does okay damage at far range.
It does, but that's when the pistol comes into play. Dude, man, the pistol is great.
This is one of my favorite Halo pistols we've ever had in the franchise, and it's so different from every other pistol we've ever fucking played with. The closest, maybe the ODST pistol?
Or Reach. I always liked the Reach's pistol. That was one of the
But Reach felt like the Halo 1 pistol. This one feels dramatically different. The sidekick, they call it. Yo, it's the sidekick, man. That is the thing you're busting that. That is another, hey, man, you can't go wrong with this, man. Old reliable right there.
Yep. My first experience with it was I was in an assault rifle battle with somebody. Clip ran out. So obviously, you have
switch.
2 options. Melee or 3. Melee, grenades, or sidearm. Yeah. I had tried to do melee before. I had thrown grenades before. But I was like, okay, I'll use the generic pistol. Yeah. And I use it, and I get killed to get the kill. I'm like, oh, this actually feels pretty good. Yeah. Guy comes around the corner with an assault rifle. I pop a few headshots off. Take rid of him.
Fucking knock him right the fuck out.
And I look at it again. I'm like, wait a second.
What do I have here? What have they put in my hands? Dude, I can't wait to play SWAT with that pistol. Oh, I can't wait to play SWAT with
Is there a DMR-like gun? I know there's the battle rifle.
I haven't seen one. No.
I have not had it.
No.
Yeah.
The closest one that people are identifying with is the Commando, but that's a fully automatic weapon.
That one's the most Call of Duty gun that I've probably seen.
It really is, but it still feels right.
It feels right. It feels like it's still in Halo.
Yeah, and I do really, really like it, but I need to get better with it. I need to learn how it handles because the recoil and the loss of accuracy you really, really, really feel with that weapon.
Yeah, but it's become
and the clip is so short that you're like, oh, every shot kind of matters with it.
Thankfully, the damage on it is pretty damn high.
Super good damage.
And it's longer range than the assault rifle you have.
Yep.
So
you can't go wrong with that commando. So all of those base weapons, like with the classic firing styles, your assault rifle, your battle rifle, pistol, the commando, and anything like that, the sniper feels phenomenal. I've only been able to use the classic sniper rifle like 2 or 3 times.
Okay. Haven't picked it up yet.
Every time, I'm fucking popping some headshots, dude. I'm fucking nailing these motherfuckers to the wall. Oh, it feels so good.
It rewards you for getting this
and I'll also say, the shock rifle, have you played with the shock rifle yet?
I played a second with it. It seemed effective, but I missed all my shots.
Dude, it's fucking great. I'm having an accuracy issue with it as well. It's not as accurate as the classic sniper.
It's not.
But man, does it feel good to use. And like it'll knock some dudes out with the headshots. But what's great about it is it electrifies and shuts down vehicles.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you have to charge it or something?
No, you just shoot it. Yeah, you just shoot a vehicle and it goes down. It's like it EMPs it, and it's just shuts it right the fuck down. There was a really great moment. Halo is really great about moments. It's something about that gameplay. You just build moments, like when you first discovered how good that pistol is.
Yeah.
There was a moment. There was a moment when I grabbed the shock rifle for the first time and I found out how good I was with it. Where I pulled it, missed the first shot because I didn't understand how it fired, and then I nailed 2 headshots in a row. Looked up, there's what do they call it? A Hornet, which is like the new flying vehicle. It's like a plane thing that you can fly around in. Was causing heavy havoc on my team. Excuse me. So I hit that quick reload, bam, shoot it, falls right out the sky, right out of the map. And kills the dude. I was like, this is fucking epic as fuck, dude. This is so cool. Like, and it's just moments like that Halo excels at. It's always excelled at. And peak performance Halo is in this multiplayer right here.
Now, a question I have for you.
Yeah.
Now, this is an issue that I found. It's because I'm playing on Xbox. The shooting actually plays very well.
That's great.
Because it's Halo, I'm more acclimated to that kind of shooting still because I played that for so many years on Xbox. But vehicle play has been... I haven't gotten into many vehicles, but when I did, it felt like it was really clunky without the PC controls. Whereas with...
You think so?
Well, with PC controls, I went back to it with Master Chief Collection, and I did great on the vehicles. I love them on mouse and keyboard.
Really?
For some reason, on controller, I just can't effectively do it. I really couldn't. Are you having trouble with the vehicles?
I'm not having trouble with them, but I disagree that it feels better on mouse and keyboard.
I see.
I've played with the Warthog, obviously, the Mongoose, obviously, and the Ghost, mostly.
Yep.
I hopped in the gunner turret of a Scorpion tank because some motherfucker beat me to it by like half a second. I haven't been able to play with the Hornet. I've been fucking around with the Chopper. They all feel great. They all feel like classic Halo vehicles. They all drive the way they should. Maybe they flip a little easier than they're supposed to, but at the same time, it's like when you start to flip, it's not a guaranteed flip. Like you can bring it back, which is something that is missing in those older Halos. I am just enjoying how they feel. But on mouse and keyboard, I feel like the vehicles are just an on-off switch. There's no like real like guiding the speed of the vehicle. It's either like you press down the W key and it's full blast, or it's nothing at all. Whereas like on controller with the stick, I feel like, I could press it forward a little bit. We could drive a little slow. Or I could push it forward all the way and we could gun it. And the physics-based driving system that Halo has always had, I feel favors the latter instead of the former. That being controller.
It really could just be a learning curve on my end because it is new game, new vehicles.
But again, like this isn't like the most like make or break thing for me. I still think the vehicles feel good to drive, and I still it's not that big of a difference between the two to where it's like, oh man, I really wish I was back on gamepad for this because the shooting, just of course feels phenomenal on mouse and keyboard. That's where you should play your first person shooters. But yeah, I cannot speak enough praises of just the functionality of this game and how it feels to play and how you get those epic, crazy ass moments where you're driving a Warthog full of teammates, and then we pull up to the base and the passenger seat hops out, the gunner's going crazy, the driver's dodging grenades and stuff as the passenger grabs the flag, and it's the go, get back to the Warthog, get back, all right, go, and the rush back to the base, yeah, we got it, yeah, all of that. Fucking phenomenal feeling every fucking time. And even if it doesn't play out, like, it's like, all right, go. Oh, fuck, we got stuck. We blew up. That's it. All right. But, like, I still enjoy the failures alongside the wins, you know?
I also enjoy when plans don't work out the exact way you want them, but they still do. For example, one of our team members during Capture the Flag came back with the flag, crashed, died. Thankfully, I happened to be there, so I grabbed the flag, and I was like, okay, I'm going to run it to our base a little bit, probably going to die. Next thing I know, all the enemy players, of course, come towards me.
Right.
But from my end, all of my allies come, and I see their dots coming over. And I'm able to get it back solely because everybody came and watched my back as I delivered the flag. So even moments just change from second to second, and it lends to those great experiences in Halo that you're talking about.
There's just a beauty, and there's a masterclass level of design in the chaos of Halo, and it's just put so well here. For the most part, I do like all the new additions and all the new weapons and so forth. Again, I haven't had the opportunity to play with the Hornet, and I really do want to play with that. I haven't played with the Banshee either, I don't think. So I am looking to do that. But I do like most of the new weapons. I mentioned the shock rifle already. I don't like any of the shotgun weapons.
You don't?
The Heat Wave and I believe it's called the Bulldog, neither of which are doing it for me.
I like the Bulldog. The Heat Wave, yeah.
I like how the Bulldog feels, but it's not doing the damage I need it to do.
It's not.
No. And I don't know what's up with that. The Heat Wave I like as a Halo weapon, and the gimmick of shooting horizontal or vertical with your spread is cool. But again, like, it's just there's a damage thing. I miss the one-shot kills with the shotgun. Where did those go? Why are those not here anymore? It's very strange to me. Sword feels great. Hammer feels really good.
That's what I was going to tell. Because I loved the hammer.
The hammer
the best it's been.
Feels awesome. Maybe the best it's ever felt. You feel powerful when you're holding that motherfucker.
It's because you don't need to exactly be on everybody, right on their back all the time, because it sends out such a massive shockwave that does the job.
Just get there and slam it, and it's good. And then from there, it's a little more hit and miss with some of the power weapons for me. I don't think this is a great rendition of the Needler. I think the Needler is okay.
Haven't picked it up. I picked it up, but I got killed, and I didn't get a chance to use it.
The Plasma Carbine I don't like.
That's my least favorite weapon so far. It needs some work, because it functions kind of like a battle rifle.
Yeah.
And the muzzle flash, the Plasma muzzle flash, really obscures the sight too much to where it was just so much less effective than any other ranged weapon, like the battle rifle, like the what's the gun? The Commando.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem to be effective like those guns were.
Yeah. And then the skewer, have you used the skewer? It's like this harpoon weapon.
I have not.
It'll one-shot vehicles and obviously one-shot dudes. Super long reload animation. But that weapon feels great. Rocket launcher feels great, of course. I love that we're just calling it the Spanker now. That's just what it's called. And then from there, you can miss me with the rest of them. I think it's called the Ravager. Don't like that. The
Disruptor. The pistol.
Yeah, the Disruptor I wasn't fond of. I'm just not. The rest of them I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'd rather just keep my regular weapons.
Power-ups, though, they've been relatively good. The grappling hook allows for a lot of maneuverability whenever you get it.
Yeah, a lot of mobility, a lot of verticality with the grappling hook.
They're not so rare that you
I do wish the
them.
range was a little further.
I do as well.
Yeah, I feel like for a long time I was just shooting at nothing because I thought I was in range when I wasn't, but it is fun to use.
I had many situations like that as
well. To be clear, it's not like a thing that you have. There's no classes. You can't build a custom class or anything. And it's not something everybody has. They are pickups on the environment that spawn in just like the weapons do.
But a lot though. That's also the good thing. You feel like you're getting a lot of different weapons.
Yeah.
You're not going through only using the assault rifle and pistol all the time.
No, for sure. And then along with the grappling hook, there's the quick drop shield, which will block a few shots, and then start holes will start forming in the wall that you made, which I think is cute. But I've yet to have seen it be effective. It's yet to make the difference.
It never has for mine.
The repulsor I haven't once been able to use effectively, at least. But active camo, overshield, that all feels great.
The repulsor, when you do use it, is great.
Oh, really?
I walked into a room, three people just turned on me. I used it, knocked two completely away, and only had to deal with one, and I was able to kill him. Completely saved my life, and the other guys got taken out by my friendlies because they just got hit into the open with a disruptor. Like when it comes in clutch, it comes in clutch. It can save your life.
So it's just a matter of just like being like, all right, I have it, let me use it.
Very situational.
Yeah. Am I missing any of the power-ups? I don't know. I don't remember.
Those are the only 3 I remember.
Yeah, those are the big ones. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think it lands in that good. I've always felt that Halo is always 3 lanes. It's your grenades, it's your weapon, and then it's your melee.
The golden triangle, as it said in the game.
Yeah, the golden triangle. And ever since Halo 2, I think, or did it start in 3? Maybe it started in 3. They've tried a 4th pillar. No, it is 3. With it was pickups in 3, like the bubble shield and
the
like
boost jumper.
the fucking radar jammer or the flare or stuff like that. Where like, yeah, that's kind of effective sometimes, but like often not. And then
bubble shield was good.
In Reach, it was armor abilities, which were just as hit and miss. Like it's never really worked. Here, it works better than it's ever worked. Like it's definitely like, okay, this is solid. Like this is fine the way it is. I enjoy it for what it is.
So far, I think like the grappling hook I love and is always a welcome thing. But I do like Reach's armor abilities. I was a fan of those in Reach when it came out.
Making sprint one of them is strange. Like, why would I choose sprint over armor lock? And then armor lock just pauses combat for a couple of seconds, and then the same result occurs anyway when you come out of armor lock. And then like, sure, the jetpack was nice, but like the dash ability. So anyways, but we're too in the weeds. And then where was I going from there? The armor abilities work. I will say the melee this time around, like it doesn't have enough. You know that like you hit the melee button and you get pulled into the guy a little bit to like ensure that hit. They've lowered that.
Exception. Like when I first jumped into the game, it took some time to get around because I assumed it would do that as effectively as it had past game. But I hit I hit air and then I got killed. I was like, oh, wait a second. I thought I should have hit him right there. And then I quickly found out, okay, it's not as reliable as it was before.
They've tightened that up. But at the same time, like man, sometimes it does feel like just a punch fight is just punch to win. It does feel like that sometimes still. Because maybe this is because I'm so used to Splitgate where like the punch just really wasn't that good in Splitgate.
Yeah.
But you would punch and then pop a quick shot. It was better to pop a quick shot than to punch again. Here, it's better to punch again. Like just fucking street fight your way through it, you know? Oh, my dog is in here.
You didn't know?
I did know. I saw him come in. But anyways. But yeah, so yeah, they've definitely lowered that range of the melee attack a little more. I want to talk about the map designs for a little bit.
You see, my issue with my map designs is I played on the same ones over and over again.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, like the small team fight, Slayer,
yeah.
The refinery type place. I can't remember what it's called. I only played on that one. So,
oh wow,
big team battle. I kept playing on that one large map with the boost jumpers on either. Like you know the map that has 2 bases on either sides. The big bases. I guess I played that one and the one with the giant like umbrella-like construct in the middle of the map. I can't remember what that map's called.
I don't know if I know this one.
Yeah, I've only played.
Also, you haven't played the one that like is pulling design from that Halo 2 level, or the Earth Halo 2 level, where you're defending the courtyard and stuff.
No,
there's a map there that first of all, I love the maps. Yeah. I love them. Like they're all great. Some of the big team battle ones, obviously because they're so massive, like they lose intricacy in design. But they're all like good. Like I've yet to hit a map and be like, fuck man, I don't like playing here. Like every map I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll play here. And there's narrow passageways and quick like little tight corners or vents that you can jump in through and land in different places real quick to get around really quickly. And it's a thing with arena shooters where like your map knowledge matters. You got to know where weapons spawn. You got to know flow of map. If you're playing CTF, you got to know. All right, I just killed a guy going that route. There's probably more guys that way. So let me grab this flag. Let me go to the other side of the map. Take lane number 3 instead of 1 or 2 and see how that works out for me. And even in that, there's a sub lane that I could take to maybe get some more cover.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. All of it feels good. They're not all symmetrical. Some of them like are, but like even the asymmetrical ones feel just as good as the symmetric ones. Like I cannot sing the praises of the maps enough so far. Like I love the map design in in this game.
It's good.
Which is important for a game like Halo. From there, like game modes, a lot of your regulars show up here. Your Slayer, your big team battles, your capture the flag. Those are like your main ones. Oddball is in there. They've added a new one. I'm forgetting what it's called now. The one where you got to go capture the seeds. Did you play this one? Where
I have not.
Yeah. The idea is like 8 seeds. They're like little batteries spawn on the map, and they all spawn in the same place. And the idea is that your team rushes to go collect as many as possible, bring it back to your base. You need to collect 5 to score a point, and the first to score 3 wins.
Okay.
I love this mode.
Sounds fun.
This mode is super dope, and it does that thing where like you pick up the seed and it's like you can throw it, or like when you pick up
oddball.
The oddball, or when you pick up the fusion canister. It functions that same way. So like we very quickly we're like, oh shit, let's assembly line this, and just there's one guy standing on the pile, just throw it back to us, and we'll throw it all the way back to the base, and we'll daisy chain it up all the way to the base.
It's like a PE game.
Yeah, which was, it was like various levels of success, of course, because the enemies would come in and wipe you all out, and you're all busy throwing fucking batteries around that you don't realize that they're here and stuff. But I really, really like that game mode. It's really fun. It's like, it's long enough to where you really feel that drag of the push and pull in some of those big team battles, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. For example, there is another mode that, again, I forget what it's called. It's basically domination. But having the points doesn't score you points. You have to capture all 3 points at one time to score a point, and then the first 1 to 3 wins. And that one I felt heavy stagnation in, where it was like, man, we're just running out the clock in this game. Like, and it's a long clock. It's like 15 minutes. Like, we're just hammering the same positions again and again and again and again because you get 2, and then the enemy bunkers down and they're 1. Maybe they have someone sneak around and get the one that you're not looking at right now, and then it's just this constant like just push and pull of we're all sitting at 0-0 or 0-1 or 1-1 forever. I've yet to play that mode. There was one time where we lost to points, and that's because I was playing with the guys, but whoever was leader hit find game, and everyone was on their bathroom breaks. So we started the game with nobody, with like half of our team AFK, and it was just like, all right, well, we're gonna lose this one. And then they all came back by the end of the first point scored.
And it was
just a snowball effect from there. So some good, some not so good, but nothing bad. I'm excited for more classic modes to come in, probably with the full release of the game.
Action people were looking forward to
in December. I want SWAT. I want
yeah.
I just want more. I want like Renegade to come back. I want VIP to come back.
Renegade is what again?
Renegade is kind of like VIP, but like it's the more kills you have. When you're the Renegade, you start stacking up points, so then you're worth more points if they kill you, et cetera, et cetera.
Whereas the VIP is just time, like be the VIP.
Yeah, VIP I believe is just a time thing. But all that's great, and I'm very excited to like Juggernaut. I want to like all these classic modes. I want to go and play and have fun with. I do want more like playlists. Right now, they've just got 4v4 or Big Team Battle.
Yeah.
And then it's just a hodgepodge of modes. I do want to be like, hey, I just want to play Slayer today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to kill things. I do want to, or hey, man, I'm in the mood for some Capture the Flag. Just put me in the Capture the Flag queue, and that's it.
You know what you're.
It's very strange that it didn't launch this way, but it does. Like, they labeled it a beta, but it's the full thing because you're spending money on the Battle Pass, which we'll get to the Battle Pass here in a second. But yeah, I definitely want more modes and more options to play the modes that I like.
Yeah.
And from there, I'm actually surprised how complete a package this really is. It's free to play, the multiplayer, which is great. I'm getting the game through Game Pass, so I personally had no issue spending money on this right out the gate. So I bought after a couple of rounds, and I was like, oh man, this game's fucking good. I bought the Battle Pass, and I even bought the extra 25 levels. I think I spent like $50 for it all, and I still have leftover credits. To buy another cosmetic pack or whatever. Right now, I don't think the cosmetics are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. They're limited.
They're very limited.
Of course, it's a new game. So
a lot of it is in the Battle Pass. and it takes a long time to level your battle pass up. It's mostly focused on completing challenges, less focused on performance, which I think is a mistake, but 343 has already said, hey, we're looking at it, we're going to fix it, we're going to tweak it, we're going to figure it out. And they've already done like some minor things where like they like inserted like some really easy daily challenges that you can go in and just get really quickly, like bam, 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 knock these out. It's like play a game or something. And then like the weeklies are also pretty easy, but it just takes a while to get through them, you know, or it takes a while to feel like I'm making progress. I feel very slow in the progress I'm making. But you know, and then which is unfortunate because I think this game has the potential to have some of the best customization of any Halo game yet, but it's just not quite there. They have removed picking your individual colors for specific color schemes that they've created, which is a bit of a mixed bag. I do like just being able to pick whatever I want, but in past Halo games, I'm just primary green, secondary red, and that was it. Whereas now it's like, oh, let me do the orange preset, because this orange preset looks kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking down the line, I'm like, oh, I'd like to look like that. I'll you know, if and when I get those colors, I'm going to play with those colors, you know, and so forth. So I do like that. There is a bit of that. I'm just curious if there's any really long tail to this customization hunt with the Battle Pass that makes me go, how many different armor variations can you guys come up with before it gets boring? Mm-hmm. You know? And then I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, well then maybe, like, they've already got the Reach characters. Like, you through the Battle Pass, you can unlock and you can play as June or Carter from Reach, or Emil from Reach, you know? Mm-hmm. Which is neat. I like that. But, like, does that mean, like, we're getting, like, characters who aren't in armor eventually, like a Sergeant Johnson or something? And then from there, like, do we even extend past that? Would it be weird if I see Marcus Phoenix running around in Halo? Would that be weird? I don't know. But I'm very curious to find out. And then from there, like, what do we do? Do we start bringing in licensed characters from other IPs and mediums? And you know, we kind of cross into that Call of Duty / Fortnite realm where we're bringing in, I don't know, fucking John Wick. Does that make sense in the world of Halo? I don't know. Or is that going to be kind of immersion breaking and make me not want to kind of break me from the reality of the world?
I lean on the latter, personally. I don't think I would want them to go.
I think it works if you make smart choices. I don't want fucking Superman running around, but, you know, I think Marcus Phoenix would make sense. I think maybe if you put, like, Solid Snake in some power armor or something, that would kind of make, or like put a character's face in, but they've got like some, like, you can still customize the body and it's just the head that's different.
Samus would work.
Would work. And stuff like that. Or
Doomslayer.
Doomslayer is another great one. Or maybe you pull like something from like a movie or something, like a Power Ranger or something. I don't know.
Well, there's possibilities.
I'm curious to see if we play around with that or if it's just different armor types again and again and again. Granted, we've had so many Halos at this point, you could really play around with that for quite a while. But do we get helmetless Spartans at some point? You know, does that run around? Do we get non-Spartans like at some point? You know,
can we play as those elites?
Can I play as again? Commander Keys or something? You know, like where are we going with this? I'm very curious to see where all that going. From there, all the smaller customizations I also do like. Being able to, you know, switch out limbs for robotic limbs is cool. You know, picking different body types and voices, all that's very, very welcome. The AI, have you looked at this AI thing that they got?
I haven't messed around with that.
When you're capturing points in King of the Hill or Domination or whatever, the AI pops up, and you know you get to change the shape, and the voice and the shape are tied to the same thing, but you can like change the color of your AI, which is neat. Did you see that the pink AI is called Lightish Red?
Yes.
Just a cute little red versus blue reference there. I thought it was cute. There's a couple of other red versus blue references.
I didn't catch the red versus blue reference.
Yeah, there's a couple in there.
Lightish Red. I personally use the Promethean, I think one. Promethean. Is that the female
orange
one? Like the no color.
Oh, that's the color. I'm also using the orange color.
Yeah. Works the best.
And then I'm using the female voice, so it's a ball.
You like that one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm using the ball right now. But you know, I'm looking to swap it out. I'm instantly like, I just want more options. Like these customizations are not doing enough for me. Which again, they said they're you know,
working on it.
They're working on it, so we'll see. And I think when the full game comes out, they're going to have another update and do some other shit or something.
Yeah, I feel like we'll see a lot more content come that release.
Overall, Halo Infinite multiplayer, very happy with this package.
Yes, I want to dive into it more.
Yeah, I'm going to keep playing it for many, many weeks to come, I feel. Like, I'm very, very fucking excited. Yeah. And then I'm excited to check out that campaign. It's a shame we're not getting co-op. It's a shame we're not getting Forge. And it seems like it's actually going to be quite a while before we get those things.
But based on how the game plays, it'll be fine. It'll be fun to play.
Yeah, I'm very excited to play the game, play the campaign, figure out its story. I really hope that story lands, since I don't have co-op partners to play with and have fun with alongside it. So I really hope that story lands, and I really hope the game loop of, it's more openish. You're running around capturing bases and so forth. I want to see if that feels good in a Halo game. There's a bunch of campaign previews that have been going live on the internet. Everybody seems very, very positive about it, but I won't know until the full game is out and I get my hands on it. Connor, anything else to say about the Halo Infinite multiplayer?
Overall, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, the best parts of the game, for me at least, are how it plays. It feels different, and it feels better than it ever has before, while still retaining the Halo elements.
Yeah, that DNA is there with that modern feel to it to make it feel great, man. It feels really good to play.
The revamping of gunplay really just sells it.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy with the package that's been delivered. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your Two Penny Gamescast episode 70. Thank you so much for listening if you got this far. Remember, you can get this podcast at youtube.com/2pennygamescast or any major podcast service of your choice. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're out there. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Please go share it with your friends. We'd really appreciate the help and the support. Shout out to those dishwashers. Just casually chilling at work, listening, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Shout out to them dishwashers. If you know, you know. Anyways, until next week, have a great week. Remember, you can catch us twitch.tv/2pennygames for live gameplay content. We're not doing Have You Ever Played this week, but we will be doing it next week with God of War 2018. So please jump in, check out that, and check out the God of War 3 After the Hype review that me and Phil are putting out this Tuesday, 8 a.m. All youtube.com/2pennygamescast. But until then, Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.